by saying that I have no personal issue with any member of this board or any of the school leadership. I have a very big issue with your decision to hire this individual, retain them. That is where my issue lies. So I'm going to read a prepared statement, just make sure I stay on topic and cover all the bases. But I spent 9 years as a Detroit police officer. In 2001, while off duty, I received a call from a coworker telling me that my friend Mike had been hurt and I needed to get to the hospital. When I got there, I learned that Mike, while out on patrol, saw a car blow a red light and he stopped it. Turns out the driver had a suspended driver's license and a couple minor warrants. Considering this person's history, going to jail for this type of thing was really not a big issue. It wouldn't have been a life-changing event. However, he'd been conditioned to hate police. Even though Mike was a person heavily involved in the community, he and part of the kids' programs, he was a mild-mannered, likable guy. The person decided to stab him in the throat that night. Mike died from his injuries. A few days later, I stood near his casket and saw his 20-something-year-old sobbing wife and his kids, who were just babies at the time, on the floor in front of their father's casket. Since that time, I've stood in front of several other caskets of police officers who died in the line of duty. All of them gave their lives serving others. So when I heard the affiliations and statement made by your recent hire, I was left in stunned disbelief that school leadership would think this person would make an excellent addition to our schools. First, let me make clear, teachers have the right to have strong political beliefs and to express them. I've said on social media posts that I don't care if a teacher travels the country attending Trump rallies or has Biden wallpaper in their home or has any other adamant political beliefs. That's their right. Our current state rep is currently in office, was a former teacher in Grosedale Schools, and if she decides to return when she's done in Lansing, I would have zero issue with it. It's not about one political side or the other. But there are certain expectations for some professions. If a police officer was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, I think we can all agree that person has no business being a police officer, whether they posted about it before they were hired or not. Teachers also have expectations of whom they affiliate with and their statements. Your new hire proudly proclaimed that she is an Antifa super soldier. Antifa is an organization that travels the country initiating violence. They've repeatedly focused their violence on police officers and have attempted to injure or kill them on many occasions. This group's actions have been labeled as domestic terrorism under President Obama, President Trump, and 6 members of the group were arrested on domestic terrorism, one of them being local, were arrested on domestic terrorism charges for, amongst other things, firebombing a police car a month ago. Actions like this are not fringe of the organization. Instigating violence and intimidation are their main tactics. This teacher not only joined this group, she made public social media posts showing that her beliefs align with the group's. I'll paraphrase the post that I found most troubling because your teacher used mild vulgarity, but in response to someone's post on why the police officers' lives matter, she posted they don't, and that those who believe they do are bootlickers, is how she referred to it. And I have a copy of the post here if you'd like to see it. I assume you've seen it, but I have copies if the board would like it. I'd like to ask the board this. What if she said that the lives of school administrators don't matter, and if you think they do, you're a bootlicker? Or if she said the lives of a specific racial group don't matter, or if you do, you're a bootlicker? Would she still be employed here? I would hope not. The lives of police officers are no less important, and joining a group that is known for domestic terrorism, targeting police officers with violence, should immediately exclude a person from employment in certain jobs, a teacher being one of them. Yet when I contacted the superintendent with these issues, she responded that the teacher's evaluations are good, so she's going to remain in the schools. I have a real problem with that. This teacher is probationary. The reason we have probationary status is so we can find out if an individual is capable of performing a job, or in case we learn something that we should have excluded them from hiring in the first place. I would say that her affiliations and statements have excluded her from hire. Your own policy and state law allows the board to terminate the employment of a probationary employee at any time, yet despite learning all this, you've kept her in our schools. I hope that one day she realizes just how ignorant it is to lump people together into groups so they can be hated. But for now, I expect this body to do what any reasonable body would do and remove her from our schools. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kevin.